Attention, Rams fans. Training camp is just around the corner, but two delicate decisions are already putting the backrooms under tension. On one hand, the most important rookie of the 2025 class remains unable to train due to an unprecedented contract impasse. On the other, a Super Bowl champion veteran is knocking on the door wanting to return to the league, and his name divides fans and analysts. The atmosphere is one of preparation, but the off-field doubts still resonate louder. Welcome! Show your support for the Rams by reaching 100 likes on today's video. Jason Pierre-Paul's return to the NFL feels like a movie script. A 36-year-old veteran with 2 Super Bowl rings, overcoming serious injuries and publicly stating that he can still contribute at a high level. And his name is appearing right now in the back rooms of the Rams, who are facing significant doubts about the depth of their edge rusher group. But the question is straightforward, and the answer even more so: is it worth it? Probably not. Let's get to the facts. Pierre-Paul spent the entire 2024 season out of the NFL. His last game was in 2023, with a modest performance. Since then, he has been more remembered for his past comeback stories, including the explosion that cost him part of his right hand, than for any recent impact on the field. And while he says he's ready to return, age and time away from the game weigh heavily, especially on a team like the Rams, which prioritizes youth and internal development. What reignites the debate is the comparison between the current Rams roster and that legendary 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, championed with Brady at the helm, young talents on defense, and experienced veterans to hold things together. Yes, there is a structural similarity. Stafford in command, a defense filled with emerging athletes like Jared Verse, Byron Young, and Josiah Stewart. But this Los Angeles team is underbuilt to provide experience handholding, but rather to polish its promises. Moreover, the franchise is counting on the physical recovery of Brennan Jackson, a 5th-round pick in 2024, who missed a good portion of last training camp with a thigh injury. Internally, there is optimism regarding his impact this season, as the coaching staff emphasized in recent statements. This makes the need for a veteran like Pierre-Paul even less urgent. The reality is that if the Rams go after a more experienced name for the edge rusher group, the most logical choice would be to look for someone with more mobility and familiarity with the current scheme, like Ogbo Okoronkwo, a former Ram, who still generates goodwill in the locker room and could contribute with more dynamism. Pierre-Paul, at this moment, is more of an emergency piece mid-season than a strategic addition before camp begins. Of course, the name carries weight. Pierre-Paul was a Pro Bowler, had double-digit sack seasons, and was an important piece in 2 different championships with the Giants and Buccaneers. But today, he would merely be a support name, possibly not even on the main roster, but on the practice squad. And this type of move doesn't make sense for a franchise that values every snap of its developing youth. The last thing the Rams need is to hinder the evolution of their defensive talents with a symbolic signing that would bring more media attention than real tactical impact. The team has interesting pieces to work with, and it needs to give repetition, playing time, and confidence to these athletes. Pierre-Paul, at this moment, represents more nostalgia than a solution. So, yes, the idea of having him in the locker room is tempting, but the timing and current roster-building model do not align with this type of signing. It could be a good card up the sleeve if injuries arise later in the season. But for now, the focus should be elsewhere, giving space to the young players and solidifying the plan that has already been yielding results since 2023. And while decisions are being made about veterans knocking on the door, the Rams are facing another type of problem, a much more urgent and entirely internal one. Their top rookie from the 2025 draft is legally barred from stepping onto the practice field, and the blame lies in a new chapter of the war for guaranteed contracts in the NFL. Terrence Ferguson, a tight end from Oregon and the Rams' top pick in the last draft, still cannot officially report to training camp. Reason? He has not yet signed his rookie contract, and NFL rules are clear: no signature, no training. The problem is not exclusive to the Rams. In fact, it is part of a silent contractual crisis that is sweeping the league and has the potential to change how rookies negotiate going forward. It all started with 2 teams breaking the mold: the Texans, by guaranteeing 100% of Jaden Higgins' contract, and the Browns, who did the same with Carson Schwessinger. both chosen early in the second round. The domino effect was immediate. Other rookies began demanding similar conditions. Result? 30 of the 32 second-round players are still without signed contracts, including Ferguson. The Rams selected the tight end at the 46th overall position with the clear expectation of seeing him contribute from the start. Tyler Higbee, the veteran at the position, has been facing physical issues, and the franchise urgently needs a new, reliable target in the middle of the field. Ferguson has the ideal profile: secure, technical, and already accustomed to complex systems. Perfect for Sean McVay's offense. But his absence at the start of camp could delay the plan. It's worth noting that Ferguson participated in all offseason activities after the draft, showing professionalism and rapid adaptation. What's holding things up now is the negotiation table, more specifically the finance department led by Tony Pastores. And the dilemma is real. If they concede now, the Rams may set a precedent for future contract disputes. If they resist too much, they lose valuable development time with a key rookie in a needy position. This impasse highlights the tension between the old model, based on the rookie wage scale of the 2011 collective bargaining agreement, and the new landscape, where players outside the first round are already beginning to demand full financial security. If before bonuses and guarantees were limited to the draft elite, now even second-day players want complete protection. And rightly so. The NFL is a ruthless market, where injuries and cuts happen at every practice. For the Rams, the issue is one of timing and adjustment. The franchise needs to maintain its internal negotiation standards, but also cannot afford to start training camp without its most important rookie. Ferguson is part of the offensive plan from the moment he was drafted. If the idea is to lighten the load on Kupp and Nacua, it's essential that the tight end is in sync with Stafford as soon as possible. Fans may think this is all just bureaucracy, and it is, but it's these backstage decisions that directly impact performance on the field. If Ferguson is not ready for Week 1, the Rams' offense will lose an important weapon. And if the impasse drags on, it could shake the very rhythm of the offense's evolution in a year of high expectations. It's time for Pastores to set aside vacation and solve this equation. The player has shown commitment. Now it's the franchise's turn to act intelligently, without losing control, but also without delaying the team's preparation. While a veteran wants to enter through a door that may already be closed, an essential rookie can't even get through the gates of training camp. The Rams' preseason begins with typical dilemmas of a team caught between the now and the future, and that needs to balance both with surgical precision. The Rams are about to start a promising season, but full of small risks that could turn into big problems. Jason Pierre-Paul may represent experience, but he's a solution that has already expired. Meanwhile, Terrence Ferguson, a central piece of the offensive renewal, cannot wait. The future is in the hands of the management, and any mistake in timing now could prove costly later. In my opinion, Ferguson needs to be on the field in Week 1. Resolve this contract, and quickly. As for Pierre-Paul, it's better to leave the past where it is and keep investing in the future. And you, Rams fan, would you bring Pierre-Paul back or trust the new generation of pass rushers? And what about Ferguson? Would you accept giving more guarantees to have the rookie on the field soon? Comment below, like, share, and subscribe to the channel to keep up with every step of the Rams' journey toward another decisive season.